But let's get into the show. So much to talk about. And we're going to start off with the headline that Ten Hag could stay. Well, this is not. This is coming in post game last night, and it's coming in from The Athletic, and it's coming in from Laurie Whitwell. Now, Manchester Evening News, who I don't think are very good, are saying that Ten Hag is clinging on at United, and that he could be sacked on Sunday. But I mean, we've known this for about a week. Like, I don't think saying it could be his last game on Sunday is breaking news. I think we all know it could be his last game on Sunday. But there seems to be quite a lot. Even in the Manchester Evening News, they're saying Ineos insist they won't panic, and they will point to the result as a means to an end in relation to the late winner, the late equaliser from Harry Maguire. Ten Hag is clinging on at United, but his grip has loosened a little bit more, which is actually a bit of a... I don't know what that means, actually. But what Laurie Whitwell said is this. The United hierarchy have told Ten Hag the training hasn't been to a good standard. Ten Hag has agreed. The new coaches came from Ten Hag. There's no evidence suggests Ruud was touted as a potential manager when he was appointed. Goes on to say that one source spoke to doesn't think a loss to Villa would be enough to sack Ten Hag. Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox have been working hard this week. Daily communication between Ten Hag and the hierarchy. The people running the club are aware of the difficult environment that the United manager is currently facing. And the consistent message internally is that Ineos don't want to change the manager. So, I mean, look, it's possible that he stays beyond Monday. Of course, I think Villa's... I think that... It's a really difficult one, because I think that there is so much strong opinion on this at the moment, and all I'm doing is giving you the news. I'm not even. I don't even. Well, I can give an opinion, I suppose, but I think that there is such a witch hunt now that I look at it and I'm almost speechless as to what to say from a positive sense. I would like to sit here and say, well, if they sack Ten Hag on Monday, everything's going to get better. Don't think it is. If they don't sack Ten Hag on Monday, everything will get better. Don't necessarily think it will. And I've been consistent with you that this week. I don't actually look at either option and go, yeah, everything's going to get better. I really, really don't. But I think that what we're witnessing now is just such a noise around Manchester United. I mean, nobody's taking any notice of any other football club in the Premier League at the moment. It's all about Manchester United. It's all about Villa on Sunday. And the funny thing is, we didn't know anything about transfers in the summer. Nobody did. Romano and Ornstein got the scoop when it was very close to being announced, but nobody knew what was happening. And I don't think anybody knows at the moment what's going to happen. And I think a lot of it is guesswork. And that's why I think... you just got to wait till Monday, haven't you? I mean, it's 3 days. As I was saying on the watch-along last night, if you want Ten Hag out, you've only got to wait 3 days, really. And if you don't want Ten Hag out, you've only got to wait 3 days. We will know on Monday, one way or another. That 10 a.m. drop that we had with Mourinho, which was, I think it was a Tuesday, actually. But I think we'll know on Monday. Which way do I think it's going to go? I don't know. I mean, look at the game yesterday. Look at the game last night and you go, we're looking really good. Oh, we're looking shit again. Oh, we've gone and got a late equaliser. And I think that's just United at the moment. Nothing's really clear on so many things. So many people have so many different opinions. And I think that it's really, really hard to predict what's going to happen. I think if we beat Villa or we draw with Villa, probably stays in a job. If you lose to Villa, probably get sacked. But I mean, even then, even if you draw with Villa, probably stays, still could get sacked. If he loses to Villa, probably get sacked, could stay. The worst thing is, it was about Porto and Villa. Now it's about Villa. What did I say to you yesterday? I don't think Porto and Villa should be games that make their mind up. If you bought into this project and you believe in this project, then 2 games should not be changing your mind. Or if you've given up on this project and you want to change this project, then 2 games shouldn't be changing your mind. Well, it's 1 game now because Porto becomes a non-entity. There was good bits, there was bad bits, and we didn't lose. So now it's 1 game again. It's like the FA Cup final all over again. And that's, the media are building this up a lot, but so are a lot of fans. So am I, to be honest, because that's just what it looks like it's going to be. But it's incredible again, really, that we're looking at one game and deciding what will happen. Now, you've decided beyond that. You're looking at the bigger picture, of course. But Man United, the message coming from them is that Villa could decide his future. Well, that can't decide his future. That can't decide his future. They should already know his future. And if they know they want to sack him, what if we win 4-0? So they don't know his future, do they? That's what I'm trying to say. You are taking into account a bigger picture and going, I know what I want to happen. United are clearly going into this Villa game and they don't know what they want to do. They're going to decide by a result, which is so dangerous, of course. I mean, we've had players sent off in the last 2 games. Replacing Ten Hag with Van Nistelrooy won't make any difference, says Rub. We're going to talk about that in a moment. The next game is always your most important. I think Rashford is terrible, but last night he was our biggest threat, yet was being rotated for Villa, says Cameron. We'll talk about that in a moment, Cameron. Aside from the financials, I think we want to keep him because to sack him is an admission their strategic review is a waste of time, says Rory. Glazer's fault, can't sack him because of the 17 million, says Louis. I was always Ten Hag in, says Sticks, but his in-game management has been bad. He will sack himself, unfortunately. If Rude gets the job, would you have Roy Keane as his assistant, says Casey. I don't really understand the Roy Keane obsession, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, if you want somebody to go in and shout in the dressing room, I'll do it for a £5. We don't need to go and get Roy Keane to do it. Uncertainty is a horrible feeling. Like the summer, we were in limbo again. Ineos must act proactively. No matter the decision, delays only breed more discontent amongst everyone, says Patrick. In or out, no doubt he wants out, guaranteed, says Dino. Look, I said it last night. I've had a sleep. I think there were times last night where it looked like it was almost a sabotage. And Chris says, Rashford wasn't rotated. He was subbed because he won't defend. Well, let's just answer what Cameron said, because he said that Rashford shouldn't have been taken off, played really, really well last night. There was talk of rotation, but after the game, this is what Erik Ten Hag said. Garnacho was my best player against Spurs by far, and also in many other games. I think in the season, as I assess it so far, he is bringing us so far the offensive threat by creating chances, assists, and also scoring. Garnacho, we also had to play him as well, and we have 2 very good players over on that side. He said, also, I have to watch it back, and I think over the left side, definitely we didn't defend well tonight, and Marcus also played a part in this. But as I said, it had to do with Garnacho and nothing against Rashi. So what we know from the start of the game was that Garnacho was on the bench and he went with Ahmad and Rashford. What we also know is that Garnacho had a knock and could only play 45 minutes. I think what we can pick up from Ten Hag is that he would have started Garnacho last night if he could have started him. So therefore, Rashford may well have been on the bench or Ahmad may have been on the bench, but he clearly wanted to get Garnacho on the pitch in the second half because he thinks that Garnacho's his best winger. Now, I'm not going to criticise Erik Ten Hag for that, because I actually agree with him. I think Garnacho is our best winger, but I'm not going to criticise a manager who has consistently picked Rashford for over a year as his best winger. If the manager wants to pick Harry Maguire on Sunday because he thinks it's his best centre-back, crack on. If you want to pick Casemiro because you think he's better than Agate, crack on. I'd rather a manager just was honest and actually went with what he wanted to do. So I don't really understand the confusion and over Rashford being substituted, because it's there very, very crystal clear. He wanted to get Garnacho on the pitch. I thought Rashford did play well in the first half, but ultimately as well, what's the balance? Like, he did get a goal and he did get an assist. I mean, I think the keeper should have saved both, but they're still goals. But he was also terrible down the left-hand side with Dalot. And he was terrible in that tackle with Van de Ven against Spurs. And he was terrible to stop the FC20 goal as well. So, you know, as a manager, I know people are talking about what he was like going forward. And I was saying this to Beth last night. You know, she was saying he had that right back on toast. I think Porto defended in a way that really allowed us to see the strength of Rashford, because in the Premier League, teams have almost figured Rashford out. They double up on him, so he can't, you know, if he's in a one-on-one, he's dangerous. And that Porto sort of left the right back on his own. And that's why we were getting a bit of joy. In the Premier League, he normally gets doubled up on. They know he's going to cut inside, and he finds it difficult. But he was getting a lot of joy going forward in the first half. I completely agree. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.